Today we're going to be taking a look at what I think is probably the best disc that I can guarantee most of you have not tried, and that is the Doomsday disc Chemtrail. Let's get to the elephant in the room first. If you've talked to me about Doomsday, I have been their #1 hater, #1 op. I have just not been a Doomsday fan. Their marketing just doesn't connect with me. They make a lot of meme discs that I think me and a lot of other people think is the majority of what they make. But if you've watched a lot of my previous videos, you know I've really been struggling on the flip to drift fairway driver. And I had many people that I trust and that I respect in the disc golf world recommend to me this disc. The next day it popped up at my local shop, Chalker House. So I went ahead, I bought it, I decided to try it. And I absolutely love this thing. This may be one of my favorite discs in my bag right now, and I cannot wait to share with you why. I have to compare it with, I don't have a ton of flip to drift slower fairway drivers, 6 and 7 speeds. I brought a Centurion. This is, I think, 6.5-ish speed, however they want to list it. And then the Jackalope, I think, is an 8 speed. You can definitely feel that the rim is a little bit larger on the Jackalope than definitely the Centurion. And then the Chemtrail is kind of right in between those two. But these are all discs that you would like to put on a little bit of hyzer and they will pop up and drift right. But for me, the most controllable, the most fun to throw and consistent out of those has been the Chemtrail. Now again, I have not been the biggest Doomsday fan. This is the first Doomsday disc that I have tried, and what I can say is the plastic looks incredible and also feels incredible. I'll get you guys a look at the profile of the Chemtrail. You can see a nice controllable like 7-ish speed rim, typical fairway driver rim. Not too domey, not too flat, feels good on both backhand and forehand. And I mean, the plastic feels like a good run of Star, and I have no complaints about it whatsoever. Looks pretty sick. I think this is the Retina plastic. They also have the two-tone Chemtrails. I'm probably going to stock up on a few more of these because I love this thing, and we'll stop yapping. Let's get to why. So the biggest thing I think I've struggled with my flip to turn control drivers is the higher speed. I have to throw them pretty hard to get that flight out of them. The Chemtrail being a little slower, maybe even a touch flippier, I can really just throw this on a nice, smooth, committed hyzer, and it will pop up and drift right without really tanking over. We'll see how that goes into a little bit of headwind downhill. It's probably going to seem a bit flippier, but we'll see what happens. Just nice, smooth, like 80% hyzer flip. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting the wind to get it a little bit more, but what a just beautiful flight for throwing something so softly. I'll compare that to the Centurion. This was in and out of my bag a little bit when they first came out. The Splatter S-Blends were pretty flippy. I think the Glows are a little bit more stable. Just gonna try to throw a similar 80% hyzer flip. Yeah, a little bit more stable for sure on that guy. You can see it just drifting right a little bit more. Similar distance right up to that wood line. And I can't remember, I know the Jackalope is an 8 speed. I think it might be a little flippier. I only threw this once or twice. But give it that same line. Definitely softer and definitely flippier. You can see with that speed, it is going to fade out a little bit. Honestly, a great shot as well. But just having something that I can throw pretty soft and trust is going to flip up, I love that thing. So I think that was a pretty good comparison of these three. The Chemtrail I absolutely love, will flip up, hold straight, drift a little bit for you, very controllable. Centurion, I think, especially in this glow plastic, had a little bit more left glide, left movement to it. And then the Jackalope was definitely the flippiest of the three. This definitely wanted to get up and get to the right. Now we're gonna limit test together. This is definitely not a disc that I throw full power very often, except maybe off the tee on some par 4s. I'll show that to close out the video, but I'm gonna put these on some more hyzer. Headwind downhill, they may roll, but I'm gonna hit these as hard as I would hit a full power drive on this hole. Just see what happens, see what they do. Start out with the Chemtrail again. Just a ton of hyzer here. I just want to see how the disc reacts to a more full power drive. So one thing I love about that disc, you see it doesn't rip over to the right. That's gliding and getting a full flight while it pans to the right, kind of acting more like a forehand. Especially if you guys heard me rave about the flip from Hooligan, that's almost just like a fairway driver flip. I can hit this really hard on a backhand and it essentially replaces a forehand for me. Let's test these out with the other Centurion up next. Almost expecting this to drift a little bit less, maybe come back a little bit more. Yeah, I didn't hit that quite as much, obviously much higher, but that is not drifting right at all, and I'm gonna have to spend that didn't go too far, and maybe just 20 minutes of my life finding that. And then Jackalope, this might roll. If I hit it better, more like the Chemtrail, this might roll here. Yeah, put more power into that one, more of a line drive, and it is going to cut roll. So it could be a good roller option as well, but the Chemtrail out of the three, I mean, it's what the video's about, best of the bunch. I can't believe I love that disc as much as I do. All right, one more test of the flight here, and then we'll go play the hole that cements this disc in my bag. But one thing I've also loved the Chemtrail for, because it's this perfect genre of disc that is understable, but it's not super flippy. I hope that makes sense. But I can also throw this on some forehands, standstill forehands where I'm not going to get a ton of power, but I need something to flip up and glide. Still maybe finish the right or just finish straight. This has been incredible for. So we're going to try that kind of shot with all three of these. And let's just throw standstill. I forget that we can just throw standstill. Centurion here. Yeah, nice and glidey. That one has been the most stable of all, so not surprised to see that one finish a little bit. Hit the jackalope. Yeah, super similar flight out of that as well. My shoes untied. Hope that doesn't affect the shot too much. There's a plane. Hi, plane. Yeah, probably my worst release, very nose up, but you can see, I just think that as similar as overstable discs are on a spectrum of like super beefy, super dumpy, get to the ground, and more like pushy, glidey overstable, I think there's understable discs that will like rip up and roll, like very understable, and then there's like pushy, glidey understable, like the Chemtrail, and I just love that I can tweak the amount of hyzer that I put on that and really affect the in-flight, how much it drifts right, what it wants to do, and I've just been so surprised at how much I love that disc. Let me show you the hole that really cemented it in my bag, and we'll wrap up. When it comes to shots that I actually use the Chemtrail for out here on the course, hole 7 is a perfect example. This is a gap that I just need to hit on a little bit of hyzer, let this pop up and drift to the right. Shape's a little better for a forehand, but I'm a lot more confident hitting a gap with the backhand, so let's see how this goes. Perfect. That might go in. Oh my God. AMI's on the ace calling it maybe a soft par 4, but eagle never feels bad, right? But that pop-up and just controllable, consistent drift to the right is why I really am loving this Chemtrail. Just, I mean, very unexpected for me, but this has turned into one of my absolute favorite discs. I got mine from Chalker House. Shout out to them, my local shop. You can use Ursa 10. All of their pre-owned and new inventory is listed online as well as in store. And also, obviously, Infinite is Doomsday's retailer. You can use my affiliate code to help me out getting a Chemtrail there as well. Super appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.